guest is here. I've seen him. And I've got to find him now. Goran. Okay. Arnoux, sorry, I keep getting it. Arnoux, come forward. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to hand it straight over to you to introduce yourself and share with us your magic.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Some of you might like to know a little bit about my background. Both my parents are deaf and had a horrible drug addiction throughout my childhood, which led me to almost die when I was 22 years old. Every doctor of every kind of medicine I could find in a phone book said I had no chance of ever getting better until my last doctor said that I would die soon. But I didn't give up. As you can tell, I'm still here and I'm not 22. Well, maybe in spirit. And what I did was I spent a very long time just living on my credit cards and reading books and studying and going to classes. And I fixed my body and I began to teach other people what I did. I developed a system that anyone can follow to fix their body. However, in order to have a system that fixes the body, you must include a way to fix the human mind, which was an interesting challenge because everywhere I went, everyone said that it was impossible to permanently remove the bricks of pain from previous experiences. That whatever you've been through can never be undone in terms of the trauma to your body, and that you just have to learn to deal with it. Of course, I didn't stop at that. I continued going forward, researching until I figured out how to go into the unconscious mind and take negative repeating thoughts and feelings out permanently. It's now called the Goran technique, although it's only a small piece of my entire training program. It is the first thing people learn because all of us are creating thoughts over 50 or 60,000 every single day, but we're not aware of most of them. They're like in an automation machine. And if you could access those thoughts and remove the negative ones and put the ones in that you actually want there, it would completely change your entire life and, of course, make you feel better. So, from a practical standpoint, I figured out how to reverse the damage of trauma, but not just trauma, any negative thing that you've been through. Even if you just inherited from your mom an annoying attitude, you can erase that too. You can erase all of those things. So, to begin tonight, I'd like to help you feel better quickly. Not by using the Goran technique, because that takes at least 3 days to learn. But let's do a quick exercise to put you in a good state of mind and help your energy field to be brighter and feel more wonderful. So, I'd like you to play along with me and imagine that out in front of you is a big, giant magnet. What would a giant magnet look like? One that's much bigger than you that can float in the air. Would it be silver? Would it have rounded corners? Now, let's pretend that this big, beautiful magical magnet, if you like, can suck out of you, can draw out of you, can magnetize out of you the rocks of pain that exist inside of your body. All the negative thoughts and emotions from the past, they often do feel like rocks to us, don't they? Along with those rocks, it's going to suck out all of the negative energies, previous repeating patterns from previous experiences, even the physical chemicals of emotion. It's going to start pulling them all out right now. Imagine that you can see all these things coming out of you, out of your heart, out of your stomach, out of your head. You could see it as energy moving. You could see rocks. You could see knives, pictures, whatever you see, just let it flow out. If you don't see, maybe you feel. Maybe you can hear it pulling it out of you. Maybe you just know that the weight you've been carrying is coming out. And we're going to intend that as everything touches the magnet, it just disappears and is sent directly into the light. And let's also intend that the Great Spirit, the Great Divine, the Superconscious, God, the universe, whatever your favorite terms are, the infinite power of love of this universe can erase these things for you in a permanent way. Now, it's possible that it won't erase everything for you, and there's good reason for that. But whatever can be erased for you, let it be erased for you. Let's make this intention and allow every last bit of it to come out. If there's something still stuck behind your back, pull that out too. Take everything out, the stuff on top of your head that's not quite in your head, but it's sitting there inside of your energy field, still disturbing your ability to know and connect to God. Take everything out, even out of your hands and feet. Take a deep breath. Good job. Now let's imagine, since we've cleaned out, that there's a beautiful light coming down from up above. You can call it heaven if you like. And this light is filled with golden raindrops of healing energy. And as these raindrops fall into your energy field, they wash away anything that didn't get pulled out by the magnet, if there is anything. But as they go into your energy field, they also fill you up with this golden, healing, beautiful energy. Science has proven that when you imagine color entering the body, it causes a physiological change. This is not woo-woo. This is science, but it might feel good, and that's what matters. Imagine the energy coming down through this light and through these raindrops, filling into your head, into your neck, into your torso and arms and hands and legs and feet, your whole body, filling up with this golden energy. And imagine yourself to be sparkly all over, all on the inside, golden sparkles all throughout your body. Breathe in the energy as well and let it go. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. When you breathe in through the nose, the nitric oxide in your sinuses opens up your blood capillaries by 30%. When you breathe out through the nose, the energy that you have stays inside rather than breathing out the mouth and releasing your energy. Breathe in and out through the nose, filling up and filling up and filling up. To be, I don't mean another person. I mean a way of being, like confident or powerful or generous or compassionate or unconditionally loving or rich or happy or wise. Maybe you want to be beautiful or romantic or charming, or you would like to be a divine angel sent by heaven. You can be anything you want to be. If you could be something, it can be more than one thing. What immediately comes to your mind or comes to your heart that suits you? Perhaps it is to be joy or peace. Whatever it is, say using the magic words I am. Say out loud, I am, whatever came to you. Say out loud, I am, whatever it is you'd like to be. It's okay, you can change it later. You don't have to do it right. Just do it for fun. Maybe who you want to be is fun. If you want to be funny, you can just say who I am is funny, and then you'll be funny. You can be anything you want. Thank you. So what you've done is you've shifted your energy from wherever it was to a neutral space by taking everything out, filling in with positive energy, but then you generously created who you are as a way of being. You're a human being. Hu is a Sanskrit word, human is, which means God or the divine incarnated into physical form. So when you use the words I am, you create a way of being that it's a source of your personal creation. So if you start being confident, then you'll think confident thoughts, you'll have confident feelings, you'll say and do confident things, you'll have confident results, and you'll have the experience that you're confident. We call that the cycle of manifestation. It begins at being. Now, most of the time, who we be as a person is actually coming from our past and not from what we consciously choose. We run on automatic. We don't ask ourselves, who do I want to be today? And then decide to be that. Instead, we be who we've been, which a lot of times is what our environment informed us that we are, our DNA or our ancestors informed us that we are. And a lot of times it's something that comes from a place of pain. And when you're coming from pain, even if it's a positive idea, like I'm going to be angry to do the right thing, if you're coming from pain, you're still coming from a place that isn't love, which isn't your highest and best expression. It isn't really who you are. So we want to remove the pain and then decide to be who we are consciously and purposefully every single day, every single morning. You could text your sweetheart if they're not with you, or you can wake up with them and say, babe, who I am today is X, Y, and Z. Who I am today is magnanimous, confident, and happy. And then she can say, or he can say, or they can say, who I am is magnanimous and thoughtful and considerate. Okay. And then you make your intention for the day. Imagine every day creating who you are and making intentions for the day. Today, I'm going to do these things. At least I'll do my best to achieve them and make them real. This is called conscious living or conscious creating. And not too many people do it regularly. The problem is sometimes when you try to be who you are, what happens is you start being something from your past that you don't want to be. Now, I gave you a quick way to deactivate or turn off the old programs that turn on, and they are like computer programs. They're stuck inside of us. We get triggered, a button is pushed, and the old stuff activates, it turns on, and it takes over, and you stop being you. And you start being anger or fear or sadness or some other variation of those three base emotions. So someone says who they are is confident, and then they see someone that they are attracted to, and suddenly they start acting like they're 7 years old and they're shy and inadequate. And they start being shy and inadequate instead of being confident because that feeling from age 7 activated. That's why they look and sound like they're 7, because that's when it got installed inside of them. We can trace back every single one of our negative emotions, patterns, and ways of beings to a time when they first got put into our system. Many come from childhood, some come from our ancestors, so we're literally conceived with them, and some we bring with us because we're immortal, aren't we? So, as we understand this about ourselves, we can begin to consciously take control and not let the pain of the past dictate who we are today, and therefore not control our future. Your future can change like this as you make a new decision. And as you access your unconscious mind and take the things out that you don't want and stop automatically being something that isn't you, really, you change your future. Because these negative patterns inside of us, they are creating the future along with our conscious creation. And as we remove the programmed in pain, negativity, darkness, fear. As we remove those things, the future changes because we've changed. Our frequency has changed, our beingness has changed, and we can more and more automatically and effortlessly be who we say we are. Imagine being able to say, who I am is unconditional love, and then just being it automatically day after day after day until you say something else. And people will say to you, I feel so safe with you. I don't know why. And you say, well, it's because who I am is unconditional love. I said it 8 days ago, and it's still sticking. I'm not getting triggered in being something else.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah.
next
I think
question.
a lot of resources for your care.com. I think they provide resources.
An excellent interruption.
Mm.
Sometimes that happens, right? And we ask ourselves, is that meant to shock us out of the state that we're in? Or is there something I need to erase or clear? Neely, I hope it's pronounced right, says, I have a lot of programs that need to be uninstalled. Don't we all? Everybody does until you uninstall them all, until you delete them all. In 3 months, not in 3 months, sorry, in a few days, oh, let's get it right. On December 6th, I'll be doing a webinar called Why Your Life is the Way It Is, Ending Repeating Life Patterns. And in the webinar, I will teach you a different way to deactivate the things that get triggered. I'll teach you a way to find out what is blocking you from your number one goal, which of course you can use on any goal forever after. You'll also learn how the Goran technique, the 3-day weekend course that I have, happens and how you can sign up for that if that's something that you're interested in. So you can then permanently uninstall these things, permanently remove the bricks from on top of you, and more effortlessly attract what you want and be who you want to be in life. So, does anyone else have a question about creating yourself as a way of being? Okay. So let's have everyone take a deep breath. I want you to bring your attention to the center of your chest, the center of your chest where the emotional heart is. Your physical heart is a little bit to the left, but in the middle is the emotional heart. It's also the energy center that we call the heart chakra. The word chakra just means energy center. It's not a funky thing. There's energy centers in the body, just like there's energy channels in the body. Acupuncture is a proven methodology to heal the body. And how does it do that? It opens up the energy channels. A really advanced acupuncture practitioner will send energy through the needle, through the channel to open up the energy channel or to break open the blockage so the energy can flow again. And there are seven major energy centers in the body where energy flows in and out. And if the energy isn't moving, you're not manifesting what you want. Not only that, but you may not feel very well. You might be tired. You might even have pain in that area of your body. So let's bring our attention to the center of our chest, the heart energy center. In the middle of it, you should see a golden ball like a baseball. Of course, it might be the color green because most people would see it being green, like a crystal, like a beautiful green crystal, like an emerald. And in the front and in the back of this crystal, you'll see a golden funnel, both of them spinning clockwise. So if you look at yourself, they're the opposite of each other because the front's going clockwise and the back's going clockwise. Now it's supposed to be spinning, but as you look at your own, you might notice it's not spinning. Maybe there's a bunch of mud in there. Maybe there's rocks. Maybe there's other things inside of the energy center preventing it from spinning. Use your imagination. And if there is mud or smoke or dirt, imagine a vacuum cleaner sucking it all out. If you see rocks and knives and snakes and spiders and little images that look like little photographs, take all those things out too. Use your imaginary vacuum cleaner and suck everything out. Clean your chakra. This is basic chakra balancing, not permanent, but this is the way that you can learn when you begin. Now, some of you might find this elementary. And at the same time, it's always good to check them. So if you're really good, check them all quickly. Take a deep breath. See if you can get that chakra to spin. If it's not spinning, but it's all cleaned out, imagine you have a lawnmower handle with a little pull on it, and you can just pull it and boom, start it up again and get the front and the back to spin. If it's not in the center of your body, if it's off, put it in the middle. If it's too big, if it's like the size of a softball, use your intention to shrink it down to the correct size, a little bit bigger than a baseball. Make sure it's very sparkly and you see it spinning. You might notice that as it starts to spin, that your feeling there is better. Maybe you'll feel warmth or just a good feeling. Maybe it's love that you feel. Take a deep breath. Now, the things that you saw in there, if you saw rocks, those can be permanently erased with the Goran technique. If you saw something that looked like a little picture, or a knife, or a gunshot wound, or a spear, or an arrow, or a snake, or a curse, all of those things were erased by the Goran technique too. And when I say erased, I mean permanently and forever erased. About 95% of what you're going to see in your chakras are those things, rocks or pictures. And a snake or a knife is just another type of picture. A picture is something that happened a long time ago where a spiritual pattern is created and continues to repeat. That's all it is. It's the beginning of the pattern. Now, you might see some other things, but not very often. If you see mud or dirt or smoke, that's just the energy needing to be cleaned out. So if you haven't been doing much energy work, you might see some of that. So if you haven't been in the ocean, if you haven't been in a forest, if you haven't, uh, there's so many energy workers here, done the type of energy work that's conscious, then you might see some of that dirt in your space. That's okay. You just use your mind to take it out. And that's good enough. But the rocks and the pictures, the knives, those kinds of things will be back later. And if you have ever done or had a chakra balancing done, you might know that people will take things out and then it comes back later. In fact, learning how to work on the energy field was what led me to ask the question, how come that knife is back and how do I make it go away permanently? When I was doing energy work on a friend of mine and there was a knife in their back and they could physically feel the knife, but it wasn't physically there. It was energetically there and it represented a previous experience that was repeating and repeating and causing a problem in life today, which is why we could see it in the present. And I took it out with my mind, just like we took everything out of the chakra now. But then next week, it was there again. Why? That was my question. Why isn't it gone? I took it out, but now it's back. How do I get rid of it forever? Which, of course, led me to eventually figure out how to do that. If you learn how to erase the rocks, which are the unconscious programs, and the pictures, you can balance your chakras permanently, which means you could wake up in the morning and check all seven of your major ones, and you can check your minor ones too if you want, like your kidneys and liver and spleen and shoulders and lungs. Those are all minor chakras. You can check them all, and they'll all be spinning perfectly. Wouldn't that be something? How often do you wake up in the morning and check your chakras? And when you do you notice that none of them are spinning because they're all clogged up? Have you ever even learned how to do that? Being able to observe your chakras and then clean them and then permanently remove what's in there is a way of observing your own evolution. Because if you wake up in the morning and they're all clogged up, which is very common for a lot of people, and then you clean them all out, and then you start erasing the ones out of the base or the root chakra, and you start erasing permanently the big boulders in there and the bricks and the gunshot wound and and you start erasing these things permanently. When you wake up in the morning, you'll look and see there's less stuff in that chakra. Eventually, you'll wake up and there'll be nothing in that chakra. And that might be the case for 10 years. 10 years later, you look at your root, it's always spinning. And you know what that's like? That means in reality, your survival needs are always met because the root chakra is about survival and family and tribe. And so all of a sudden, you always have everything you need. And it never goes away because that part of your energy field is rock solid. There's nothing left in there for you to work on. You might find you start going up to the second one, then the third one. And one day you're going to wake up in the morning and they're all going to be spinning perfectly. And you're going to say, I feel happy when I wake up. I feel happy all day now. Oh, something got triggered in my heart chakra. I better erase that one. If you know how to erase these things permanently, then you can do permanent chakra balancing, and then you can start to observe your evolution from the energetic side, not just from what your life looks like, because it's a mirror. What's going on in your chakras is a mirror to what's going on in your life. If you're frustrated about your finances, you can find that frustration in your body, and if it's in your solar plexus, it's making that chakra not spin. Does that make sense? If you're angry at your dog for dying and you feel this anger and grief in your heart chakra is not going to spin because it's reflecting your life and back and forth. As you erase those things, maybe you won't be angry at your dog anymore. You'll be grateful for the time you shared together. Meanwhile, your heart chakra is spinning again. And meanwhile, someone else can come in and you can experience a connection with them because you've cleared out the blockage to the energy flow. Take a deep breath. Thank you. So someone wrote, I don't want to butcher your name. I have no idea of how to clear my chakras or even how to check them. So just now I led you through a very basic introduction to checking your heart chakra, trying to imagine you could see it. And look, if you try to look there and you can't see anything, that's okay. In the second course I do, we do open up your clairvoyance. We work on that chakra so that you can see. But most people can actually see if they just try to look. They just never tried to look before. So just try to look at your heart. Try to imagine, oh, there's like a center there, and there's a funnel in the back and a funnel in the back. Is it spinning or not? Now, we think it's our imagination when we start seeing energy, but it's not. There's a difference. When you are creating something, you're consciously deciding to think of something and it's sending it out, which is how we manifest and create reality. It's proven throughout history that if you visualize the same thing for 5 minutes a day, that's going to come into your life once you've removed all the blocks. But when you look without trying to create and just let it come in, now you're just seeing what's there. That's not using your imagination, although it looks very similar. So just try to look and see what's there. It took me months to be able to see. So don't feel bad if you don't see right away. And I didn't know how to permanently, open up the clairvoyant chakra, which is the sixth chakra, until much later. So it just took me more practicing and trying and practicing and trying until I could see. Eventually, you can see other people's chakras, which is kind of cool. Then you can even see the rocks and pictures that are inside of them. And when they say, can you tell me why my back hurts? You can say, well, I see all this stuff in there that they may not be able to see for themselves yet. One more big breath. Now, this philosophy I'm sharing with you can also be used to help you be immune to other people's negative energy. Many of you watching right now are empaths. What does that mean? It means you can feel other people's energy. It doesn't mean that you have to be affected by it, though. You can feel everyone's energy, but still just maintain your own energy field. They can have their pain. You don't have to process it for them. There's a couple things. Number one, you can make a decision not to heal other people through your body anymore. You can make a decision not to heal the world through your body anymore. Now, you can always turn it back on. You can always heal other people in the world through your body if you want to. However, everyone's capable of healing themselves. And if you heal them for them, you're telling them that they're not capable, which isn't true. They can do it, which means you don't have to, and you can just take care of yourself. But still, you might feel sad when you're around someone who's sad and say, oh, they got me with their sadness. Ah. And for those who are counselors, coaches, therapists, psychics, if you work with people one on one, you might feel drained after sessions. It's not because you're absorbing their negative energy, especially if you've grounded yourself and made the intention that you don't and put up a force field and not you're not processing them through you. What's happening is they're actually triggering your own stuff. This is the key to being immune to other people's negative energy, is to realize that it isn't their energy. It's just that their issues are triggering your issues. So if they're sad, but you have a similar or unresolved sadness that's triggered by their sadness, now you're going to feel sad. But it's not actually their sadness coming over into your body. It's your own sadness you haven't erased yet. And they're just triggering you. And if you erase it all, you can sit with people while they're erasing rape trauma, PTSD. I've done all these things on stage, go on and on and on. Horrific grief from someone's death. We've erased it all on stage. And you don't have to be affected at all. You can just hold the space for them. You can be unconditional love for them and not be tired. In fact, you might feel really happy because you look at them and they feel a lot better after. When you're doing one-on-ones, you should feel energized after, not drained. And if you feel drained after, usually it means that your client is showing you something you need to clear for yourself. Now, I'm assuming that you're going to someday learn how to permanently erase things so you can apply this. But just understanding this alone will be very helpful because then you can use the magnet I taught you or the beach ball method you're going to learn on my webinar and take the things out temporarily until you do learn how to erase them permanently. Okay, let's see what's going on because I only have 3 more minutes. A question from Wilma. Do we have to set the intention healing clearing is permanent, or is the energy simply released permanently once it's done? You know, with the magnet method or all these other methods of taking things out, they are only temporary. They can be permanent if you ask for them to be permanent, and then the world of light can work on you. Angels, spirit guides, ancestors, God can work on you. Some things can take months and months for them to erase. Some things could be erased in a few hours. Some things they will never erase for you. Never. But why not? When I ask the question, what I'm told is, well, first of all, there's a lot of wisdom that you get by doing it yourself. But most importantly, you have the need to experience erasing it yourself. So you can experience being the divine creator. That's why there's mixed results with methods that are faith-based versus science-based. My methods are all science-based. They work whether you believe they work or not. They're just like gravity. It's if you don't think it's there, try jumping out of a building. Oh, there is gravity. It's like that. It's real and it can't be taken away or it's not going to not work just because you don't think so. Thank you. So I created the intention that the magnet would take everything out permanently so that if anything could be taken out permanently, it would be, leaving only the stuff for us to work on ourselves, which is why we have these tools, why I spent my whole life creating them, because we all deserve to know how to permanently erase these things. We don't need to suffer with repeating patterns anymore. Thank you. Well, I'm at the very end of my time. Thank you for having me. And thank you, Tia, for your kind words there in the chat. You're awesome. If you guys want to come to my webinar, it's on December 6th. It's 2 hours long because it is a workshop. And you might go through some transformations during the workshop. You might see some of your patterns. And at the end, I'll tell you how you can begin your journey to permanently erase things.